I think that me playing both positions is the transition from going back and forth probably isn't as much a challenge for me. I played infield my whole life, and I think that kind of sets you up for the athleticism it takes to go play in the outfield. And honestly, I think I'm a very natural mover in the outfield. But me playing infield my whole life, kind of, that's like where I was comfortable to start out. But now, I feel pretty comfortable at both positions, and I'm confident being able to play center field on Tuesday and then jump to second base, left field. Honestly, I love being able to do that. I think it helps me, hold value as a player, and I think that it'll help me move up the system for sure.
All right, guys, welcome back in to another episode to the Show We Go Baseball podcast. Today's episode, we are dipping into the Met system here. We got AJ Ewing on the episode today. And if you don't know AJ, he was a member of the 2023 draft class for the New York Mets. And he spent this past year down in the complex a little bit, and he even got up to low A. So AJ, I know you're back home right now. How's your offseason been treating you?
Off season's been great. I think, I had the off season last year to kind of, figure it out, and I was a little confused about what I needed to do, but like this off season, I got a good plan going, and I'm excited to let it show because I feel like, it's been going well.
So what kind of things have you been up to? I guess obviously I'm sure you have a place that you train back home there in Ohio, and what kind of things have did the team give you some things, or I guess what have you been working on this off season?
Yeah, so I mean, I really got like a hitting routine. Like me and my coaches, we worked really hard on like developing a routine for me that works well, and so it's kind of just sticking to that hitting routine. But the main focus for me this off season is more so like in the weight room and putting on the size and like eating right, just to be a little more physical in the box, and that should translate well.
So I did want to kind of jump into your 2024 season. Obviously, it was your first full pro season, and you started off in the complex league. You had a very good year there, and then you jumped up to low A. What are a few takeaways that you have from this year from your time at the complex and then getting up to low A?
Baseball is, it's a sport like no other. Like it'll humble you very fast, especially the higher level you go, and that's something that kind of hit me in the face pretty hard. I started off this season, I was hitting well. I started off pretty hot, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere you move up a level, and then you just kind of get, you get punched in the mouth a little bit, and like you just gotta understand how to like respond to that. So like I think, it's you definitely have to mature in the game for sure, but that's one thing that I've learned this season for sure.
What were some of the challenges that you had once you did? I mean, like you just said, you struggled a little
Yeah.
bit once you moved up, and that's very common, obviously, for
Mhm.
every level, because obviously the pitchers you face every level you go up are just going to be better and
Right.
be more seasoned. So, what were some of the challenges that you noticed once you got to St. Lucie?
It's some of the challenges, like sometimes like what I did, I'm not going to speak for others, but kind of what happened to me is I kind of lost a little bit of my own identity of like the type of player I am, trying to adjust what, higher level pitchers are doing to me. But things really started coming around when I kind of just stuck with myself and understood, like every week's not going to be a great week. Some weeks are going to be bad. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with how I'm playing right now. It just didn't go my way. So, just got to stick to your own identity, know who you are, and, capitalize on the things you're good at.
Yeah, and I did see right before you got called up that you ended up earning an award for being the complex player of the week
Mhm.
for and it's outstanding week you had. I think you got promoted that same week.
Yeah.
And then I did notice you had a moment there in low A once you got up to St. Lucie. You hit a walk-off grand slam.
Yeah.
So can you kind of just like tell me, like, obviously having a week like you did, earning that honor there in the complex league, and then going up to low A, and then obviously like being able to come up at a plate and in the bottom of the ninth and cap off
Yeah.
a comeback win for your team. Which one of those weeks was better for you? Like, that was more rewarding for you, I guess. Was it the complex one, or was it the one in low A?
Definitely the one in low A because, like those middle months of the year, that's kind of when I was struggling a little bit. I wouldn't say it went bad because, those are the like those are the times where like you really grow as a player and like get better and come out of it. But it's definitely the one that happened in low A. It was definitely more rewarding just because, the struggle did happen. Then I had that good week and it ended off with a bang with like a walk-off grand slam. That felt good. And then like the rest of the season went well. I think I needed that to like get the confidence back going. But yeah, that was awesome for sure.
Did it take you? How long does that take you to get settled into the affiliate ball style? Because obviously, when you're in the complex league, I know it's a little different as in far as the games. They're not
Right.
6 days a week and all that. And I know that once you get up to affiliate ball and you got a game 6 days a week in a city, then you got the off day on Monday. But how long did that take you to get used to the schedule?
Yeah, honestly, for me, adjusting that schedule wasn't too hard for me. I mean, that I enjoyed that schedule more. I just feel like that suited me better. And plus, I had some buddies that were up there that kind of like filled me in on what was going on before I got caught up. So I kind of knew what like what I was coming into. So I think that helped a lot as well.
So I was taking a peek at one of your profiles there on Baseball Reference, and I was kind of I was kind of shocked. I didn't realize that you played as many positions as you did this year.
Right.
So what is that like? Just from night to night, you might not be in the same spot every day. So how do you get comfortable, especially being in a new place? Like once you did go up to low A and you were playing all over the field, like how does one get comfortable doing that?
Oh, I mean, I think that me playing most positions is the transition from going back and forth probably isn't as much a challenge for me. I played infield my whole life, and I think that kind of sets you up for the athleticism it takes to go play in the outfield. And in all honesty, I think I'm a very natural mover in the outfield, but me playing infield my whole life kind of, that's like where I was comfortable to start out. But now, I feel pretty comfortable at both positions, and I'm confident being able to play center field on Tuesday and then jump to second base, left field. Honestly, I love being able to do that. I think it helps me, hold value as a player, and I think that it'll help me move up the system for sure.
Oh yeah, I feel like position versatility is never a bad thing. I feel like that's
Right,
never a knock on a guy whenever you kind of say, "Oh, this guy can, whatever gets your bat in the lineup," right?
right, for
Um,
sure.
so you in the outfield, obviously, you said you kind of came up playing infield, and second base might be like your most comfortable spot on the field, I'm assuming. But you obviously you spent a lot of time in center field down at the complex, and you obviously appeared in both corners. For the outfield, for you, where are you most comfortable?
Definitely center field, just because that's where I played majority of the games for sure out there. 100%
Okay.
center field.
And so what kind of challenges did you see like when you were moving to the corners?
The ball flight just comes different off the bat. So like, I don't know, like some balls, like everything to center carries and kind of hangs up in the air a little bit. In the corners, a lot of balls that get hit to you have top spin, and like you really have to make like very fast decisions. There's just not a lot of room for error in the corners at all.
Okay.
But then again, everything kind of moves to the line, so it's easier to kind of judge what the ball's going to do.
Okay. Yeah, I was always so curious because I always feel like you hear like a lot of like the guys that are playing outfield in the minors, and they might be center fielders in the minors, and it's like, oh, that guy can't play center field in the majors. He's going to slot over to the corner outfield. But it's like in your instance, you're just kind of like, I'm more comfortable in center field than I am
Yeah.
the corners. I feel like that's a rarity. I feel like I hear.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Chris, I'm jumping to a little bit of life before pros. If you had anything else you wanted to follow up on.
Yeah, I wanted to jump back towards when you were talking about, um, just having some different struggles throughout the beginning of with last year, and trying to get back to like yourself. You're talking about what would you say though, throughout the course last year was the best advice you got from either a not so much a teammate, but like a coach or someone that you considered a mentor from the Mets side to kind of help kind of steer you back to getting back on track.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that, coaches stress to all of us when things aren't going well is like they reiterate to you like, hey, like you're here for a reason. Like a pro team doesn't just choose you for no reason. We understand things aren't always going to go in the best way possible, but like we still believe in you. Like you're still the player that you are a year ago. Like you're even better than you're better now than you were then. Like you just got to be able to trust yourself, and that's kind of where I go to, like, just staying within yourself. Like not trying to change your identity.
All right, so I'm gonna jump to a little bit of things on life before pros. Like, what kind of made you who you are to where you got to now? I like to start off with a very easy one. Well, it might not be easy, but who got you into baseball?
I come from a baseball family. My dad played baseball. My grandmother loved baseball her whole life. My grandpa played baseball. When I walked in the living room when I was like 2 years old, like there'd be baseball on the TV, and I would just sit there with my dad and watch that. My grandparents also had season tickets to a high A team for the Reds, the Dayton Dragons. So I went to all those games. Like up until I was like 10 years old, I was there almost every night in the summers.
You said your dad was played baseball. Did he play in high school, college? Like, how far up did he get?
He pitched in high school, but like baseball is like it's one of his passions. Like he loves it.
Okay, so it's kind of like that second. You kind of had another coach at home, or
Yeah.
was he your coach?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he kind of like fell in love with like hitting. So he's a pitcher, but like he's like a hitting guru. Like he studies hitting. He still does, like even now, but he just fell in love with it. Like he loves like the background of it. So he was kind of like my hitting coach growing up, and
Okay.
up until like I was in high school.
Yeah, so I feel like if you did have a bad game, maybe the drive home, you're just like, maybe just wait, give me like 30 minutes, and then you can coach me, I guess. But
That's one thing actually, one thing I loved about my dad is that he would never get on me after a game. Like he
oh,
knew, like
okay.
he knew, like I knew, like I knew that like stuff had to get better. That's one thing that I really enjoyed about that.
Yeah, I guess he was smart. He's like, yeah, he knew he made 3 errors in the field today. I don't
Right.
gotta tell him that, right? Like he already hates himself for it. But
Yeah, yeah.
all right, so you grew up in Ohio, and I feel like, I always say this. I feel like I'm always repeating it, but I like to show some love to where guys came from and everything. And I don't hear a lot about the Ohio baseball scene, and I guess
Yeah.
just what it was like. It's I always hear like Texas and stuff like that. But
Right.
what was it like growing up and playing in Ohio?
Honestly, I think Ohio, like an amateur standpoint's like very underrated, state. Like, because you always hear about California, Texas, like you said, Georgia, Florida. I think Ohio is very underrated, especially from like a pitching department. Like I feel like a lot of good arms come out of here, and like the tournaments here, like they're legit, and you see a lot of good guys come out of Ohio for sure. I think it's an underrated state.
It's always interesting too. Like, I've driven through Ohio a couple times, and I
Yeah.
guess you don't truly realize that, like, it's got like, you're driving through, say you're just driving through the middle of the state. You got Columbus right in the middle, then you got like Cincinnati down there, you got Cleveland up there.
Right.
Columbus is good, so it's like, where does a lot of the talent come from in the state?
Oh, I mean, there's guys all over, like around the Cincy area, which is where I'm from. I know a ton of guys that are playing D1 right now, and some pro guys as well. Uh, and then like Columbus, you got a lot of dudes, and then like up towards Cleveland, it's kind of like I feel like it's like three layered. So you got like Cincy, and then Columbus, and then like Cleveland at the top. It's kind of, I mean, yeah, it's kind of all over, to be honest with you.
Okay. Do you guys have a rivalry like in the Cincinnati area? You guys are like, we don't like those guys in Cleveland, or is that not a thing?
No, no, not at all, not
Okay.
at all, not at all.
Other than in football, I'm assuming.
Right,
Like the,
right,
the
right, right.
Bengals and Browns don't like each other too much, but
Yeah.
okay. Um, so I do kind of want to talk about you leading up to your time getting drafted by the Mets. Was that like, I guess, take me through, I guess, leading up to the draft? Was it something that was on your radar from like a while out, or was it one of those things that kind of like happened pretty quick once you got to draft? You like, did the Mets already kind of tell you they wanted to take you? I guess, how did that work out?
No. So like I like up leading up to the draft, I had no idea who was gonna pick me. I had a good feeling the Mets were gonna pick me. No one ever came out and told me like, hey, we're gonna pick you here. So it all kind of happened really fast. Like like once the fourth round hit, like I didn't hear anything, and then like a bunch started rolling in. So I didn't really know who's gonna take me first. But yeah.
Okay. And how, I guess, take me through, I guess, like the process before too. So it's like, I'm assuming there was probably quite a few teams that, you were talking with, and whether it was your agent was talking to it or whoever, but was there like, I guess, leading up to the days before the draft, where you just kind of like, I don't have to go pro right now. You could obviously go to college if you had wanted, but was there just like, hey, when did it kind of like click for you that you were just like, I want to go pro?
One thing, like, and I tell guys the same thing that are like ask me questions like, hey, like I don't know what to do, like I'm on the bubble of like I don't know if I want to go to college, I don't know if I want to start my pro career. What I tell them is, when you were growing up, think about where you would see yourself. Do you see yourself in a college uniform or a pro uniform? And that's one thing for me. I never dreamed of being a college baseball player. Even though that's a route that you can take to get there, I always dreamed of myself being in a professional uniform, playing professional baseball. I had an opportunity to start that up, and I wanted to bet on myself and take it now.
I feel like that's like such a good answer. I feel like I've never really heard any
Yeah.
guy kind of explain it like that, but you're not wrong whenever you say it like that. But with that being said as well, like, was it a tough decision to kind of like forego? Like, cause I mean, it's a really big decision for your life,
Yeah.
it's like, and it's like, you're foregoing the college experience and years. Like, was that a difficult one?
For me, no. For me,
Oh,
no. But I've heard. I mean, a lot of people like say like, yeah, like you kind of missed out on that whole college thing, and like like having the team of college. I mean, it is different than like the professional, but like I don't know the whole college scene. It's like I'm sure it'd be fun, but obviously there's more distractions than I have now. I feel like I'm pretty serious about this whole thing, and like I want to be in this environment.
okay. All right, Chris, I'm jumping to life before baseball. What do you got?
No, we were actually talking about it because I saw a quote, basically what you just said from when I was doing some research and stuff. And I was actually going to ask, but you kind of answered it. My question was going to be, do you still feel that way? But you kind of, towards the end of that statement, said that you kind of did. And it's, to your point, it actually, there's not a lot of guys that like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody just say, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, I want to get drafted. But like, for someone to go and say, no, like, I want to be a professional baseball player, not a collegiate baseball player, I give you credit. You know what I mean? To your point, you bet on yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you, Chris. I don't hear that very often, but it is kind of nice to hear. All right, so I am jumping to life outside of baseball here. It's just some easy things I'm going to ask you about, just what you're doing just off the
Yeah.
field. So, what do you do in your free time?
I mean, so like that's one thing I struggle with at the start of the off season. Like I had no idea what to do. Like I would just like fire up Fortnite and just play that, but like I can't do that for more than too long. So like, I used to play guitar a lot and I kind of picked that up this off season again. So I'm getting back into that and I'm having a lot of fun with that, kind of like relearning some old stuff. So yeah, I mean
Okay,
that takes up quite a bit of time. Also, like I like to go out to eat. Like I'm a big sit down restaurant guy. So like
good
I'm
man.
not a takeout dude. Like I like to go there and I like to sit down and eat. So I like to do that too.
All right, I got a question about that later on in this episode, so I'm sure you'll like that question that I get to it. So the guitar aspect here, how much do the parents hate it?
They love it. My
Oh,
stepdad, he's in a like a Beatles tribute band. So like he goes performs. He's the guy that kind of introduced me to it when I was
okay.
like 12 years old, and he helped me out. But yeah, they love it.
All right. I know for Christmas, I think it was not this past one, but the one before, like my aunt and uncle had gotten like one of my cousins a drum set, and they were just like, this was the biggest mistake we ever made in our life. It's like, well, yeah,
Yeah,
like you got a drum set for your son. It's like he's gonna play it, like he's
yeah.
gonna be loud. I didn't know if they were just like, man, he's just a little too loud, a little late at night with the guitar, but I will say it is refreshing to hear that from you playing guitar, because every time I ask that question, I get golf or video games.
Yeah. I
Do you
do like
fall
to
in those
golf though.
buckets? Okay,
I do both of those things, but right now I can't golf because there's like a foot of snow on the ground. But
that's fair.
yeah,
I got a conspiracy theory for you if you're ready for it about golf and position players.
I'm ready.
I've had a few position players on this show this offseason. I have a lot of pitchers on too, and they all golf, and that's just like a pitcher thing, and I've kind of
Yeah.
chalked that up too. But some position players have told me that they will not golf because it will mess with their swing. Do you believe in that?
I don't know. That's not for me to say. All I know is that I have a teammate named Boston Barrow. He hits lefty, golfs lefty. He stripes down the middle and he rakes. So I don't know. But I golf righty though, and I hit lefty. So I don't think
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting because I can understand it. I guess some position players are like not touching it because I just feel like it'll mess with something in my swing, my mechanics, something,
Yeah.
and and I won't argue with it because they're the
Yeah.
ones that are the professional players and I'm
Right.
not. So, but yeah, I wanted your input on that because every
Yeah.
position player says it to me. Like,
I honestly think it depends. Like I don't know. I bet some people it probably would mess a little bit, and then but
okay,
others like no. Like when I try to golf lefty, it's terrible. Like it's not even close. So
okay,
yeah.
all right. Well, I know you're a young guy, so this question might be tough for you. But if you were not playing professional baseball right now, what would you be doing?
Um, I view myself as like a talker. Like I love to talk. So I mean, I could probably see myself, trying to get into sales or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a talker. I like to talk.
I feel like you'd be, would you see yourself hosting a podcast like this?
I was thinking, yeah, probably. Honestly, yeah, maybe.
Okay. So if you say you did go into college and you weren't playing baseball, what do you think you would have majored in?
probably communications. Honestly, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm always curious about that because I feel like I've heard some pretty we've had some guys on that were like psychology majors, kinesiology, and it's just like, man, that makes a lot of sense for baseball players. So
Yeah,
um all right. I know you're a Cincinnati guy. Who were some of the favorite athletes growing up? And it doesn't just have to be baseball. It can be all sports.
yeah. I grew up until recently. I didn't really watch a whole lot of other sports other than baseball, so I probably will stick to baseball a little bit. But
Okay.
Joey Votto is probably my number one guy, just because I was a Reds fan like growing up, and that dude's just electric in the box. He was the toughest out in baseball like his whole career, and I love that about him. I also loved Adrian Beltre, and I feel like I don't know. I kind of feel like the same way that he does in the field, like he's always laughing, having fun. And I'm kind of the same way. Like some people play different ways. Like some people have to play super serious and like locked in, not talk. But like I don't know. I feel like I'm at my best when I'm having fun and smiling and like joking around, but like not too much. Like you're still like serious about your due, but you're having fun at the same time. So yeah. And then number three is probably Bryce Harper, just because I kind of modeled my swing after his when I was growing up, like when I was young, just because I feel like he does it all right. Yeah. Also Albert Pujols, just because 700 home runs and like you just go up there and rake, like that's pretty cool for sure.
It's very cool to see a home run every time he's at the plate.
Right.
I grew up in St. Louis, so I was very used to watching Albert Pujols just hit nukes over the left field wall.
Yeah.
That had to be tough for you though. If you did you grow up a Reds fan or were you just kind of
Yeah.
liking like Votto and everything?
I mean, it's bad to say, but like I wanted the Reds to win, but like it's more of like I like these players
Yeah.
and like I like to watch them. But like I would watch the Reds games. Like it wouldn't be like I would just like turn on like seven different games and like I'd watch the Reds. But I rooted for like my players and stuff.
And you had kind of mentioned it earlier as well that I think you said your grandparents had like season tickets for a minor league team in Dayton.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm assuming you had been to a few minor league baseball games in your life. And how
Right.
cool was it to like once you did get up to St. Lucie and we're kind of like playing minor league baseball, you're kind of like, man, I was like a kid. I was one of those kids in the stands like
Right.
years ago, and now I'm like in the batter's box. So like these guys are rooting for me. Like, was that cool for you at all?
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. I'll tell you, it is kind of like for me, it's kind of hard to like feel that though, just because like I don't know, it just kind of it like gets real. Like it's hard to think about that really. So like I haven't really thought about that too much. I probably should a little bit more, just be like, I don't know. That'd be a pretty cool thing to think about for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I just feel like, knowing myself and just like when I was young and when we're around a lot of these guys like up in, AAA clubhouses, double A, whatever it is. And, some of these guys are like, I used to be that kid that was like
Right.
trying to get me to sign this baseball when I was like 10 years old. Now I'm the one signing his baseball. It's like one of
Yeah.
those things where it's kind of like a pinch me moment where it's like, oh shoot, like this is where I wanted to be when I was that age. So
Yeah.
uh, it does seem like it would be a cool thing. But all right, I have a couple questions left. Chris, do you have anything before I kind of take this plane home?
No, I'm ready for the next segment.
Ooh, okay. I got a Mount Rushmore question for you. I actually have a couple, but we're going to start off with this one. I told you that this would come up later. You told me you were a big sit-down restaurant guy.
Yeah.
And that's something that I can appreciate. And I like showing love to like those small little hole-in-the-wall pizza places or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But we're going the other way on this one. So
Okay.
I need your Mount Rushmore. So your top 4 of restaurant chains, and they can be sit down or drive through.
Okay, top 4. I love Cheesecake Factory. I just love like the vibe that's in there for sure. They got a place called Hokkaido Hibachi. It's like near our spring training complex. It's like the best hibachi I've ever had in my life. Right there.
Okay.
I gotta say Chipotle. One thing about me, I eat Chipotle every single day at the same time and get the same order every day. Like I have not missed a day this off season. I don't think like less than 5 days I've missed.
What's your order?
It's brown rice and like they'll put 2 scoops in and I'm like, can I get a little extra brown rice every single time? And then it's either steak and chicken or just steak. And then I'll say light queso, like really light, not a whole lot, and then just cheese on top. And I also get a side tortilla and eat it by itself. I don't know why I do it, but that's what I do. Like I don't know why.
You get that every single day?
Every day.
Wow. All right. Yeah. I can't hate on it. I love Chipotle.
And then I don't know. I feel like I have to put Skyline chili in there too, just because growing up, I don't love it as much anymore, but like it's like a nostalgia thing, just because like that was my spot when I was
Chris, you ever had Skyline chili?
No, I was in Miamisburg, Ohio. This is like, I don't know, 20 years ago, and there was a that's a chain too, right? Am I thinking of that correctly? I know
it's like only in Ohio though, I'm pretty sure, and like a little bit of Kentucky.
Yeah, so I didn't try it, and I like to go and try now. I think because I'm older, I like to try all that random shit now. But like then, I wouldn't touch that. But I ended up going when I was in Ohio to the Golden Corral a lot.
Okay,
interesting.
Well, I was out there for work, and they give you like $50 a day, and I didn't want to be far from the hotel.
Yeah, you said Miamisburg, so I know exactly the one you're talking about too.
Yeah,
but Chris did say 20 years ago he was dating himself because I don't think AJ was born yet.
Well, yeah, no. I also got lost coming back from the Football Hall of Fame in Canton. I ended up randomly in like Cincinnati. My phone charger actually kind of like shit the bed on the way back. I had to stop at a random Walmart in Cincinnati. It was an experience. Took me 4 hours, I think, to get there, almost like 6 to get back. It was an experience.
Well,
I didn't know Ohio was so traumatizing. I apologize.
No, it was just the way back. It was the way back. You know what I mean? At the time, I'm driving in this like old man Buick car that I got as a rent-a-car for work. They give me a Buick. Was in some neighborhoods that couldn't get out of there fast enough.
All right. Well, so you just brought up the Hall of Fame. Have you been to the Football Hall of Fame? AJ?
No.
You have not?
Mm-mm.
Really? Just right up the road in Canton.
Well, up the road is
yeah, that's true. Well, I will say this. I took my wife to the Football Hall of Fame probably last summer before, and we didn't realize that Canton was like as nice as it was. Like we actually enjoyed, like we stayed at a hotel in Canton, Ohio, and we weren't expecting much because we were just kind of like, it's just a Hall of Fame outside Cleveland somewhere. It's probably going to be like a whatever city, but they actually did pretty well with Canton. So I was impressed with Ohio. I don't mind Ohio. I think I like it. There's cops everywhere though. The state troopers are all over the roads. All right, AJ, I'm going to wrap this up here. I have one last segment for you. I'm still workshopping a name for this segment. So pretty much what I do is I give you 2 choices and you got to pick one. And I'm only going to make you defend the wall on this if you were in the minority this offseason as your answer. Like if you give me an answer that not very many people will give me, I'm going to make you kind of defend yourself.
Okay.
They're not too hard of questions. I'll start you off with some easy ones. If you went on a vacation, would you rather go on a tropical vacation or a European vacation?
Gosh. Probably tropical vacation. I actually explain it. I'm a little lost. What tropical vacation? Can you go a little further into that? Like, what's that entail? A little bit.
Like a, just one on the beach somewhere. You're just
Yeah,
hanging out on the beach every day.
tropical for sure.
Okay, like down in Mexico or something.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Which one would you prefer, sunflower seeds or bubble gum?
gum. Yeah,
Ooh, gun. I haven't
gum.
got gum too much. Um, which would you rather play in, a day game or a night game?
Night game. Anyone that says day game is lying. Night is playing at night is better, for sure.
I've I've actually gotten day game majority of the time.
That's crazy.
I
That's
agree.
crazy.
I thought everybody was going to tell me day games because I thought everybody was going to tell me night games because a lot of guys like to sleep in. It's like you got to go in
Yeah.
way earlier, but I don't know.
Plus, not many fans go to day games. So like, there's just more energy at night for sure.
Yeah. So did you enjoyed like say like a Tuesday night game versus Sunday day game? You were probably enjoying the Tuesday night game better.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
fair. All right. Let's see here. Which would you rather watch on TV? Would you rather watch History Channel or HGTV?
Probably the History Channel.
Oh, that's HGTV's taking that one by storm this offseason. All right. Are you an Ohio State guy?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
Oh,
actually, yeah.
okay. So who do you got this weekend? Ohio State or Texas?
Ohio State for sure.
It's not even
Okay.
close.
That's
Yeah.
fair. All right. This one might be an easy question for you. I know you've spent a spring training and a little bit of the year down in Florida. So this one could be a very easy one, but some people surprise me. Which heat in the summer do you like better, Ohio or Florida?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. It's very probably. Oh wow, Ohio.
Okay. Why
Yeah,
is that? Is it the humidity? Well, it's humid in Ohio.
it's humid in Ohio. I don't know. It's just like it's humid, but it's like thick in Florida. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I walk out and like I look at my bat and it's like sweating. Like it's just like it's like condensation on the barrel. I'm like, dude, this is nuts.
Okay. Um, but I'm going to steal a question out of Chris's book that he usually talks about, and I kind of like to end it on this. I see you have some tattoos there on your right arm.
Yeah.
What are the meanings behind these?
It's just growing up, I watched like my favorite players kind of have tattoos and like the guys I watched on TV. So I mean, I got some roses here with some baseball seams I put like in the petals and stuff. It was my first one, which I don't know, I saw it and I really liked it. And like went to my artist, we kind of made it up together and I was like, yeah, like this is cool. Like I want to do this. Then I got part of one of my favorite verses in here. It says fear no evil. Then this is actually still in the works. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just
Okay.
some praying hands, just a little symbol of faith there. And then I got some doves. Doves don't really have a meaning. I just kind of liked them. And then just some more roses, and then got some crosses in there too.
I always love hearing like Chris is big on like asking guys like kind of like the meaning behind them, and I know Chris was doing a story on Jaron Duran and well
Then he
all
got
of his
called up.
yeah, they got called up, but all the meanings behind his tattoos. But are you
Yeah.
planning on adding any more in the future, or are you done for right? I know you said you're still finishing up one, but after that, are you done,
Yeah.
or were you planning on adding more?
I mean, probably not a ton more. I mean, I don't really want to branch off into this arm. I don't really want to go more than like not much at all on the legs, if anything. Pretty much, I just kind of want to bring the arm into like a little bit of my chest. I don't know. That's kind of been my vision for like the last like ever since I wanted them. So I hope I stay there. I don't really want to go any further than that, but yeah,
Okay.
I'll try to keep myself accountable to that.
Yeah, no, I always like asking guys because I feel like they always have good meetings, and obviously it seems like your faith is pretty important to you, and
Yeah.
it's part of like who you am. So I always love seeing that, like, represented like in a tattoo or something like that. So all right, well, AJ, we appreciate all the time you given us, and obviously we're going to be looking out for you once spring training rolls around here in about a month, and we're nothing but good luck for next year. But thank you so much for hopping on.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me. It was fun.